Thousands and thousands of CFA candidates had their exams canceled today at the very last minute. Today is Thursday, September 2nd, and tomorrow, Friday, September 3rd, people around the globe were scheduled to take their computer-based CFA exam at a Prometric testing center. The CFA Institute sent out an email as early as 6 a.m. this morning, Thursday, saying, "Hey candidate, your exam is still on. Good luck for your test tomorrow." And then around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States, Prometric sent out cancellation emails to candidates at hundreds of test centers around the planet saying, "Sorry, your exam that is supposed to happen in about 18 hours is now canceled." I just want to be honest here for a second. I have no idea how I would try to handle having my CFA exam canceled 18 hours before I'm planning to sit for it after studying for 6 or 9 months leading up to that day. There are 5 testing sites that are completely canceled and about 50 others where some candidates will receive a cancellation of the exam they're planning to sit for. This is all recent information, but what we've seen so far indicates that Prometric was the organization that decided to cancel the exams at many, many different locations globally, and the CFA Institute has now acknowledged those cancellations as of about 9 p.m. on Thursday on their website. The centers that are completely closed down tomorrow are the main 2 centers in Australia, Sydney and Melbourne. Then there are 2 centers in China. Some of the pretty important test centers in China are completely closed tomorrow, and then another one in Chile and Botswana. I'll run through some of the list of the test centers that Prometric has partially closed, meaning they're going to choose which candidates they allow to sit for the exam tomorrow and which candidates they're going to say, "Sorry, your exam was canceled." But if you're a CFA exam candidate who's taking a test as of September 3rd, make sure to check with Prometric and the CFA Institute on your center's status. The partial closures are in areas like Auckland, New Zealand, Bangkok, Beijing, Buenos Aires, 3 other cities in China, Jakarta, Indonesia, 4 other cities in China, a test center in Canada close to the location where I took my CFA exam, Taiwan, Wellington, New Zealand, a handful of others. This is now the 4th or 5th round of exam cancellations that the CFA Institute and Prometric have made. The June 2020 and the December 2020 exams both saw cancellations across the globe. The May 2021 exams saw many cancellations, and now these September 2021 exams are experiencing cancellations all over the world again. I've gotten emails from a few candidates already who say they passed levels 1 and 2 in 2018 and 2019, and they have literally had their level 3 exams canceled 4 times now. They're restudying for this thing 4, and now it will have to be 5 times, and wondering if they should even go for it. If you've been a subscriber to this channel for a while, you know the approach that I took towards studying for the CFA exams. It would have been an absolute heartbreaker to have my exam canceled for any of the 3 levels the day before I was about to sit for it. I can't imagine how that has to feel. Now candidates are asking me, "Hey, with this new computer-based testing system, it seems like things are far more volatile. Should I just wait it out a few years and focus on my career and then do the CFA later on in my 30s or some period like that when I know that I'll actually be able to sit down for an exam so I can stop wasting all my time studying and restudying again for an exam that I'm still not able to take?" My initial reaction to that question is no way, don't quit now. Continue to try to sit for the next exam you can take. But if I stop and really think about that question, if it were me, it would be difficult to sign up for a 5th time now for the same exam and start studying for it all over again with the fear that it could just be canceled once more. I probably still would sign up for the next available exam, which for level 3 candidates at least looks like May of 2022, but I definitely wouldn't be happy about it. Another common question I'm getting here is, how many cancellations should somebody tolerate before ultimately requesting the refund from the Institute? There's no magic number here, and obviously it's dependent on the issue and the global pandemic that we're dealing with and how it's gotten better and then worse and then better and then worse. If you're someone who had your exam canceled again and you're considering asking for a refund, I think you need to decide at what point in your life you're going to make the CFA a priority. If you're okay with asking for a refund now and worrying about the exams 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, then that might be the best decision for you. But if you're someone very early on in your career, or you're just trying to break into the finance industry and getting those letters after your name are a primary goal of yours in your early career stage, you probably need to try to stick it out and just register for the next one in the hopes that you'll be able to take it. A lot of complaints are emerging because of this about the computer-based testing method in general and the fact that Prometric as an institution has so much control over the outcome of CFA exams, when a lot of people feel like the CFA Institute is the only one who should be able to make that decision. Honestly, I don't think the need for cancellations is necessarily Prometric's fault. I think the Institute may have made the same decisions on their own if we were still still doing paper testing, but there is a huge issue with Prometric waiting until 18 hours before a test to tell people that it's canceled. Like, some people are probably already in their hotel rooms to prepare for the night before their exam. Prometric definitely needs some sort of minimum window of time that they have to notify candidates of an exam if they're going to cancel that exam. I would hope for like a week, but at the very least 3 to 4 days. And in my opinion, it's the CFA Institute's responsibility to stay on top of Prometric to enforce some sort of minimum time window within which they can choose to cancel exams. It is so unbelievably unfair to cancel someone's CFA exam the day before they sit for that test. It's Prometric's fault, it's the Institute's fault, it's not acceptable, and that needs to get fixed. But again, the overall fact that the exam got canceled is mostly out of their hands and just so much due to this pandemic we're in. If you're someone who's gonna choose to take an extended break and come back in 2 or 3 or 4 years, that's fine. You're just gonna have to kind of restudy all the information you probably learned over the past 1 or 2 or 3 years. But if you're someone who's gonna reschedule for as soon as possible, which may be May of 2022, then you are gonna need some type of strategy to deal with the mental fatigue that can come with studying for this long of a period of time. I definitely do not have all the answers here, but I'm willing to share some of my thoughts on it. You really should probably take at least a month or a couple months off before starting to study again for a May 2022 exam. When I was studying, so much of the final week before the exam was like a marathon that you'll get to the point where it's almost mentally and physically necessary to take a break from CFA content after that marathon and after what should have been your test. Additionally, I don't think you'll forget all that much information over a 4 or 6 or 8 week time period, especially if you're someone who is about to pass the exam you were hoping to sit for, because you know so much of it already and you've been working on it for like 6 or 9 or 12 or 24 months, unfortunately. So if it were me, I might pick studies back up again in like November or December. Even waiting until after the holiday season in December and choosing to start again in January could be totally appropriate if you're someone who's going to be able to recall the information that you've been studying as of late. Personally, I wouldn't wait until after December. I probably would pick it back up again in November, which admittedly would be really annoying with the holidays through November and December, but that is when I started studying for all of my regular June CFA exams, how they used to be administered, so you can definitely pull it off. If you choose to do what I think I might have done, which would be pick up studies again at the beginning of November of 2021, you just need to make sure you're managing your mental fatigue as best as possible, and I think the best way to do that is by scheduling your studying. Check out any of my older videos on the best way to study for the CFA exams, but what I did was 3 hours every day, every single day, never skipping a day, and that way you're definitely getting in the 3 to 4 to 500 hours that a lot of people need to pass these exams, but also in a very predictable way such that it will start to feel like a second job to you and you don't even question doing it after a little while. In planning around how we spend our time and planning around how our lives are going to pan out, if we have a schedule towards doing something we don't want to do, it's going to seem far less worse since you get used to doing that thing, compared to if you planned on not studying every single day but something came up and now you had to study. It's going to be really annoying, and that's sort of how it can feel when your study schedule is wishy-washy. It is ironic with computer-based testing because the appeal was always additional flexibility, and now it seems like there is far less flexibility with it since Prometric is making these calls. As to the pass rates, I think we'll continue to see pass rates that are historically low because of the difficulties that these reschedulings are bringing on to people. If you're able to do everything right, then you definitely will be able to still get through this program and finally have those letters after your name. I wonder if the CFA Institute will put like maybe a little gold star on the certificates of those starter holders who passed levels 1 and 2 before the pandemic and then had their level 3 exams rescheduled like 10 times before they were able to actually complete the program. That group of candidates may go down as having the single most difficult track towards becoming a CFA charter holder out of all the CFA candidates in the history of the world. So maybe they can carry around their charter and also a little chip on their shoulder because of how they earned it. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Both of those things help out very much and I appreciate them. And as always, thanks for watching.